Welcome back, everyone, to the Humor Career Insights podcast, your guide to navigating career success in a world that's changing faster than ever. I'm your host, Vachechi Bafa, a certified professional career coach, human resources consultant, and founder of Humor. Whether you're just starting out, climbing the ladder, or pivoting after years in the workforce, this podcast is here to equip you with the insights and strategies you need to thrive. This season, we're tackling a topic that's on everyone's mind: the future of work, how to stay relevant and thrive. From the rise of AI and automation to the shifting demands of leadership and the skills that will set you apart, we are diving deep into what it takes to not just survive, but thrive. To help us unpack this, I'll be joined by some incredible guests, industry experts, thought leaders, and professionals who are shaping the future of work. Together, we'll explore practical strategies, emerging trends, and actionable advice to help you stay ahead of the curve. So, whether you're looking to future-proof your career, embrace new opportunities, or simply stay inspired, this season is for you. Let's get ready to thrive in the future of work, starting now. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome an extraordinary guest to the show. Mellany Msengezi is an award-winning marketer and business strategist with over 20 years of experience leading growth and innovation across industries. Currently, as General Manager of Go My Code Kenya, she champions digital skills development, preparing the next generation for the future of work. Recognized as the 2018 Top Marketer of the Year in Zimbabwe, Mellany is a visionary leader known for her expertise in brand strategy, digital marketing, and mentorship. Mellany, welcome to Humor Career Insights.
Thank you so much, Vache. I'm so excited to be here.
Now, can you start us off by sharing your journey to becoming the country general manager of Go My Code Kenya? I mean, when I met you, I asked you, Mellany, from marketing to tech, how? So I feel this is going to answer that question.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Vache, for that question. For me, I have 3 children. They are all boys. And what I discovered is that they learn differently. When I discovered this, I started trying to help each and every one of them to learn the way they learn. And I discovered one common item amongst these 3 boys, which was a passion for the internet. You know, everything is online, gaming. They had so much passion. So whilst I was a person in marketing, I then had to try and fit in with my children and understand where they're coming from. These guys are born with gadgets, all of them. So I just had to be in their world. That's how I moved from marketing to where I am today in tech, because I had to grow up with these young people today.
Thank you, Mellany. Now, when you talked about how boys learn differently, I got this light bulb moment because I realized this with my 2 kids. They're twins, one's a boy, one's a girl. And my boy really learns differently, and he's so into the tech, like you're saying, so much into gadgets, and that's how he learns visually. Whereas my girl is more doing. So now that we're talking about young people, I'd like us to move to your focus on helping young people and professionals adapt to technological changes. What inspired you to take that on as a career or as a mission?
Yes. So as I grew with with my children, they're still young. My youngest is 10. So what then happened is I started with simple things, Lego education, just playing Lego with them, making them code and stuff like that. And as I was transitioning into professions, I started just realizing my passion for education. So I started trying to go to schools, advocating for, coding at a very young age for young people, because I was already seeing the real issue in the marketplace. We read about the future of tech, the future of the marketplace, and I started realizing this gap. That is what then led me to accept the position that I am in Go My Code. It's about the vision of saying, how do we actually become practical in our industry, in our schools, in the home area, to say, how do we make sure that people understand tech and they use it now and close that skills gap that's already in the industry. There's a huge need in any country, in any nation, that need is there, and even globally. The stats tell it all.
Okay, you mentioned skills gap. How do we go about closing that gap? So I know in your tech world right now, there's certain things that you are doing. Can you tell us a few of those? What are we doing to close that skills gap?
To close the skills gap, one of the things is access to the knowledge. What are the issues that are expected in the future? So it's making people aware. So one of the things that we do is just awareness campaigns on the skills that are for the future. Awareness where we go for free and tell people what is AI, what is software development, what is data analytics. You help people become aware. Then from there we move to learn the skill. But access to the facilities is another issue. So most people then don't have access to the platforms to learn these things. We again drive that awareness, give the access to the platforms. Then the next issue becomes the pricing. Education is quite expensive globally and even locally. One of the things we do is then to try and give access at affordable prices, at half the prices, just to make sure that we are paying our instructors, we are, making sure the facility is well prepared for our students. That's what we try and do. So awareness, access to the education now platforms, affordability. Those are some of the ways that we try and close the skills gap in the young people today.
Yes, that's very interesting, because when I was growing up, that gap, that divide was really huge. Even now you look at how some people have access to internet and some do not. You find in the rural area, some people have access to internet, some people do not. What do you do in cases you're giving this access, awareness, and knowledge to people in order to take a hold of these platforms? What do you do in instances where the basic infrastructure is not there? How are we reaching the very, very marginalized?
It's one of the things that we do, not as the individual corporate, but we collaborate with partners. Collaboration means, speaking and getting partnerships with the telcos in a country, speaking to the government, checking on those needs and saying, how can we give access? So access to the internet becomes a base. And it's a topic that is well discussed extensively. And when you identify such a community, you then become the advocates to bring that service from those who are equipped and well structured to supply the services. So those are some of the initiatives we do. We thrive on collaboration and partnerships.
Yeah, like you say, there's more of an advocacy for tech.
Yes.
I want to take you back to your practical. You talked about how you want to take tech to the practical world. What would you say are the most in-demand tech skills right now, 2025 and beyond? We are hearing a lot about AI, emerging technologies.
Yes.
In your view and your experience, what are the most in-demand tech skills?
So, Bache, the Future of Jobs Report 2025 by the World Economic Forum is out. So it's already out because we are in January. So I will quote them because the report follows evolving technological, societal, and economic trends to understand occupational disruption and identify opportunities for workers to transition to the jobs of the future. AI is tops and big data. Those are the fastest growing skills that are required right now, followed closely by cybersecurity and technology literacy. So those are the top. I can talk a little bit about Gen AI and machine learning. This is where companies are leveraging AI to automate content creation, customer service, and even software development. This is where people talk about AI a lot. Cybersecurity, with the rising cyber threats, skilled professionals in this field will always be in demand. Everybody has a website, or every small business is trying to build a website. Big corporates, people are going digital in terms of moving finance. Fintech is on the rise, and all this is online. So the demand is likely to continue growing all the way beyond 2035. So it's quite important for people to be skilled, well-skilled, and continue learning in the cybersecurity space. We then also have data science and analytics. every company today relies on data to make informed decisions. So again, this is one of the two of the skills that are really, really important in the future of tech. Lastly, let me just talk about full stack development. This is where websites and apps are not going anywhere, anytime soon. So it's really important that we continue to have young people moving into this space and learning skills faster.
That's interesting to me, Mellany, because I had developers saying to me, our jobs are gone. There's that fear of our jobs are gone. I'll just go into AI and say, please develop this app for me. So according to, if I understood correctly, according to that report, developers are not going anywhere.
Yes, developers are not going anywhere. I know there are several myths that people talk about. AI will replace all jobs.
Mm-hmm.
No, not entirely true. AI is automating repetitive tasks, but it also creates new job opportunities. So even in the World Economic Forum, it actually estimates that AI will create more jobs than it eliminates. So there's going to be an element of transition, change. You personally think about what area you would like to go into in case your job is eliminated. But AI will create more jobs than it eliminates.
So I might be asking you to repeat something here, but I like that AI will create more jobs than it eliminates. Can you identify 3 jobs that will be created by AI for our listeners that are afeared or that are looking into transitioning? Or are looking into what opportunity can AI bring for me? Or our young people who are like, what are the opportunities with AI? Can we come up with 2, maybe 3?
Yes, definitely. You actually can have a customer service agent become a UX UI designer. Why? Because sometimes customer service jobs actually have bots. Your WhatsApp bot is what is, answering you on the other side. You don't need someone to sit there and say, hello, how can I help you? Because a WhatsApp bot pops up, how can I help you? So that person can actually then transition into how best can I make this bot perform better? How best can I make someone who comes onto our site see the buttons and everything that they need on that interface much better, so you can transition because you already know the customer experience that a customer needs on your site versus this application that is already there. You can now start feeding it in how you want it to serve your client. So that is one of the jobs. Again, we have where people have been studying accounts, economics, they can come in and become analysts. So data science becomes important, data analysis becomes important. They can actually transition to those jobs instead of waiting to be replaced. Right now, if I take all my financial data, AI does that cash flow analysis for me. Yes. But I still need someone to then analyze that table for me and give real insights. So those are the things that how we should think about AI.
As opportunities,
not just waiting to be replaced.
Yeah. And from your response there, what comes to mind for me is that the skills can never be replaced by AI. That human touch, like you're saying, you need someone to analyze the table. AI will merely give you figures, but you need someone who can then give it that human touch. And I'll give you a story of when we started getting the bots answering customer service. Mellany, every time I would be on that phone saying, can I speak to a human? Can I speak to a person? And it'll be, I did not understand that. Press 1 for this, press 1 for that. But that human element can hardly ever be replaced. So that being said, how can professionals prepare for AI-driven changes in their industry?
That is so profound and critical, Bache. The first thing is don't be intimidated. You don't need a computer science degree to enter into tech. I've seen teachers transition into data science. I've seen accountants move into cybersecurity, and journalists become UX designers. So do not be intimidated. For me, that's the first step in any organization, or even for a person who is thinking, I'm going to be ousted. The second thing that they need to do is to start small. Choose a field that excites you. Choose something that you have watched and said, I want to try this. One thing I know about technology is currently there are so many places you can start tinkering on. You can go on YouTube and start teaching yourself before you go to a professional training center like for us where we are, where we can even give you proper full hands-on and a certificate towards your study. You can also start trying to build projects and just start identifying problems and trying to say, what is the solution around this problem? That way you look for solutions that you can say, okay, let me try and build the solutions. Maybe someone else has built it before. Let me go and build what they built and improve on it so that you actually assess yourself and the ability to transition into a new space. The other thing that can help professionals, is just to network. When people network, you then realize that in the tech communities, people are just like you and me. We are human beings and we learn. We have a brain that is so powerful where you can actually transition from no code to somebody who becomes the best coder in a space during a certain period, because you have networked with ordinary people, and then you understand that there's nothing to fear. In the networks, you also find mentors. You also find people who are just so curious, and you can even come together and build projects. Usually, successful projects are where somebody has an idea in their house, they run out in their network, they go and pick people interested about their idea, and then together they sit around a table and start developing that idea, and it becomes a huge solution. The last thing is be nice to yourself. It's very important to just be patient and persistent. Yes, you can be fearful. Test the waters, dip your little toe in the swimming pool a little bit before you jump in full. So be nice to yourself, be persistent, fail, allow yourself to fail, but pick yourself up quickly. And you can do that when you have that network. Reach out, call out and say, this is where I'm stuck. And people will help you become a tech professional.
I like that people will help you, and, the network aspect of it, that you have to reach out. And it still brings to me that fact that people are integral. They were an integral part in this tech revolution. So a few years back, when the self-checkout in the supermarkets came up, I was very scared to go to that self-checkout. And I would automatically look for the person that I was comfortable with. I would look for the cashier and I would join the long line. No matter what, I would go and join the long line because I was comfortable going to the human. But now I've overcome that fear. I go straight to the self-checkout. Now, what advice would you give a cashier sitting in that supermarket, seeing the trend, seeing the move from him or herself to the self-checkout?
Awesome. The first thing is to identify what you're interested in doing in tech. That's the first thing. And if you're a teller and you're seeing this is happening, the second step is start educating yourself, enroll yourself into a training program, which you can do after hours. Believe you me, we are very flexible in time issues. So we actually cater for people who are working during the day, and at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., you start your course. So you can actually be still working, but also becoming a tech, getting your certificate in tech. You can learn whilst you're working. Take your time. Don't be under pressure to complete a project in 1 week, because that will just overwhelm you. Pace yourself and be willing to, take time, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months as you train yourself to transition. The third item is get mentors who can then also fast track you and help you connect with the right spaces to use your skill, to practice your skill. Because you just don't move from, I've learned this, I have a certificate. You learn by making, you learn by getting projects done, and you perfect your skill in the tech space by doing. So it's very, very important to not just say, I quit my job as a teller, now I have my certificate, and you're trying to rush in the tech space. So it is important to pace yourself, make sure that you're networking and getting mentors, you're being connected to the right people, you're building projects, because you refine your skill by practice in the tech space.
Those are practical steps that I can take today. Do you have any free or low-cost resources you'd recommend for learning about technology?
Yes, definitely. Like I was mentioning, at Go My Code, actually, we have free webinars, we have master classes. All these are practical. You actually come with your laptop and we show you how to analyze data, and we take you through. We give you test cases there and there in that masterclass, and it's free. Why we make it free is we are making you not be afraid of tech. We are making you test how warm the pool is. It's not cold. It's not freezing cold. It's warm. So that 2 hours will take you into that course, the course elements. So we have things like Python. I have tried it. I have been in a masterclass and I'm like, why was I afraid? I ask myself those questions. I've been in advanced Excel. Excel is a powerful tool. I didn't know that. I just know how to add the usual. But when you go into the advanced Excel masterclass, you actually discover way much more on how to use this tool.
So, Mellany, going back to the steps that you just told us, one of them is educate. What courses are you seeing practically on the ground that people are enrolling in?
So the courses that people are enrolling in, I'll list them according to the topmost. The first one being software development. The second one being data science. The third one being cybersecurity. And lastly, advanced digital marketing. All these four are actually a reflection of what we continually see in the reports globally in terms of trends. So what we are just seeing here is people realizing slowly that gap and making sure that they are enrolling in these courses. Like I said, we also drive awareness. We go around doing those awareness campaigns, and people come in and take those courses. I'll give you an example of advanced digital marketing. Every business thrives on marketing and sales. And with AI tools coming into place, new things every day, you actually have applications like Copilot helping you to design graphics and all that stuff. These things are coming in, flooding us daily. But if you don't come and learn about them in the courses that we offer, they will just remain hearsay, and then someone else comes to take your role because you decided not to advance yourself. So continuous learning, very important. Yes, you have learned marketing in college. 2 years, not even 2 years, 1 year, ChatGPT changes the whole landscape. And if you are not going to be making sure that you are helping yourself by continuous learning, just coming in to say, let me come and do advanced marketing. I have been in college 6 years ago. Let me come in and learn what's new. Very, very critical. We have people coming to do data science with us, despite them doing computer science in college at a university. But you come, you learn new technologies with us as we impart the practical skill, because most people carry theory. Now we impart the practical skill. So the courses that I've outlined are the topmost 4, and they are very, very relevant in today's marketplace.
It's so interesting that the courses that you just mentioned are almost a mirror image of the World Economic Forum report that you mentioned on jobs. And in my mind, I was thinking, which is the mirror? Is the report reporting practically what's on the ground, or are we reacting to what the report is telling us. Did you see these courses being signed up for before the report came or after?
Okay, so very interesting indeed. The good part is I did read the report. The report takes insights from on-ground requirements. So interviews are done in over 100 countries globally, and managers interviewed, people interviews. What are you looking for? What do you need? Where are the gaps? And people are talking about the same thing. We need more talent. We need skilled people in software. We need people to build applications. We're looking for these solutions. Just recently on X, one of the leaders, I think it's Elon Musk, he actually stated the fact that he is looking for someone to build a certain solution. And he said, send me your code. I don't care which university you're coming from. I don't care what degree or no degree, So you find that it's what people are looking for in the ground, in the marketplace. That's so the mirror is there, yes, but it's reality that is reflecting.
That's actually very insightful. I have spent a lot of years recruiting, Mellany. I mentioned earlier that I was a human resources consultant, and I spent a lot of years recruiting, and we were looking for certificates, we were looking for experience, and we really did want a CV. And this change again of, we have thought leaders, because he's a thought leader, right? We have thought leaders who are saying, I'm not even interested in that. I want what you practically can do, the skills that you can show me. Just show me those skills. And we are seeing this change even in how the recruitment world is operating. They are requesting, initially for testing, right? We want to see the skills. Now, I want to talk about that. What skills do you think will become even more valuable as technology continues to advance, even with AI almost taking our spaces now? So you can tell us practically at Go My Code what skills those are that you focus on.
So at Go My Code, we focus on quite a number of tech skills, among them things like software development, data science, cybersecurity. We also do intro to Python, intro to social media marketing, several tech skills. We have a whole portfolio on our website. And at Go My Code, we actually don't emphasize the certificate. We issue you out a certificate at the end, yes, just because that's how the world operates. We issue out a wonderful Go My Code certificate. But for us, we focus on building projects. So we help each and every person who passes through us build a portfolio of projects. You come in, you build a website. You come in, you actually are able to build an application. So many presentations each and every month are done by students when they are doing their projects, and when they present, you can actually see that they are advancing their skill of building real-world solutions. These are solutions that they are finding in the marketplace, be it in any industry, and they build the portfolio depending on the area of their interest. So for us, we really also emphasize on those skills, ability to do and build that solution is what we focus on.
There's a lot of learning and unlearning.
Yes.
That we are having to do in this future of work.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we ensure, or professionals rather, how can we ensure that we're complementing technology rather than competing with it?
We can do a lot. One myth is tech will take over everything, which is not true again. There are soft skills that are really, really required to complement tech-related skills. These are creative thinking. We still will need a lot of creative thinking. We will need a lot of people to be resilient. It's a soft skill. If you are not resilient, you are not going to make it. We need a lot of people to be flexible, be agile. All these are soft skills that professionals should make sure that they continue to inculcate in their businesses. So you can have a young team of developers They love just looking at their gadget. They are best friends with, whatever is in front of them, and they're coding. They're in their own world. So how best can you nurture them so that the soft elements that complement business, that make that department successful, are brought in? So those are some of the things that we must know, that we don't need to compete with tech. We need to just complement it with the softer side of life.
Okay, taking it back to your experience, we started off talking about how, marketer to a tech advocate.
Yes.
You've had a very diverse, and it's an impactful career advocating for tech. Were there moments, though, where you found yourself in that pivot and you're having to reinvent yourself? I'd like you to share with us the transition. How did you navigate those transitions? We're talking about soft skills, yet we're talking about tech. Mm-hmm. For someone who is in that position right now, looking at this ever-changing tech world, but they focus more on the soft skills, how did you do it? How did you navigate those transitions?
Very interesting in that it's really a process. I know maybe out there are people who know what these processes are. I don't have a name for it. But the first instant is to have your heart beating, to say, am I stepping out for real, into something new? You have the initial fear, the initial self-doubt. And then again, you still have that curiosity. And one of the things that I ask myself is, surely a child I gave birth to is not fearful. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. So when my children would come in and say, oh, we are learning Scratch, I'd be like, what is that? Show me. And they show me how they, design a cartoon, how they add voice to it and stuff like that. So I then said, okay, if they can, why can I not also be willing to learn what they are learning? And so as I transitioned, I just told myself it's about giving yourself time every day to, familiarize yourself with certain topics. And with tech, one thing I want to advise people is don't try to chase everything, because it's so diverse. So get your niche and walk in that niche and be the best in that niche. Right? So you will hear about cloud computing. If you sway to the left, the next minute you hear about data science, you try to sway to the right, you can get lost. So be in the path that helps you. You can be a medical doctor and say, in the area of tech, this is the area that I want to specialize in. If you're an economist, you can specialize and say, you know what, I want to be in the data science and complement the business knowledge that I have. So that way you are not overwhelmed in the tech space. So when I joined my current organization, I then started learning product by product, just understanding what is in each space. But there is no way I can try and be in all the spaces and learn everything. But I've just identified, you know what? Yes, I have a marketing background. I have business leadership. I like, things to do with analysis. I like numbers. I like that. So that's where I'll go. Because of the marketing space, I also just like the graphic design part. So I'm really attracted to the design graphics classes, and I love the students there. They are very creative and stuff like that. So I spend my time also in that space. I am not going to chase what I would feel like will not be something I want to be the best at. I'm just following my niche because I like that niche. So I would advise people to be themselves, be comfortable, and make sure that they follow their passion in the tech space.
I like that advice, Mellany, because there is so much bombarding us every day. Just yesterday, it was ChatGPT. I just, very recently embraced it.
Yes.
2 days ago, DeepSeek. So there is a lot of things that are bombarding us that I think it is so important to stay the course and know what are your strengths and what am I good at? What is my passion? And then use what is coming at us to complement
Yes.
that course, to complement that passion. Mellany, can we brainstorm something that's just come to mind? And this is the ethical and social implications of this tech-driven future of work, future of education world that we are looking straight ahead into. Let me give you an example, in fact, of something that I've just experienced. So as I was, I'm a human resources consultant, as I earlier told you. And one of the things I do is, I submit tenders for projects, HR projects. And recently, I've been having a back and forth with an organization that I am offering my services to. And we are talking about attaching reward to skills, experience, reward to time spent, and AI. So generally, as consultants, we tend to give our daily rate. And this organization now came back and said, well, we don't really know how much time a consultant is going to spend on this. So can you just attach it to something else? So that takes me back to these ethical concerns. Do we really know what I, for instance, as a consultant, am I doing the work? Is ChatGPT doing the work? Is DeepSeek doing the work? And then also in terms of education now, how do we even quantify? How do we even assess exams? Are we marking ChatGPT or are we marking Bache, for instance? Who is getting the 50%? So just those ethical and, those social implications around our workplace and education that everyone is talking about. And yeah, they just came to mind. How do you think we can address this?
Thank you for that, Bache. And even as we discuss this, there's a lot being discussed around the same topic. We could go another 2 hours discussing it and debating. I'm not an authority in this space per se, but when I look at it, technology for us brings speed. Yes, like you're saying, we know people who are deciding not to go to university 4 years, but coming in to get a skill in 5 months, 6 months, and they're an expert in the field that would have taken them 4 years. We know about people, instead of an 8-hour day, you can actually achieve all your goals in 4 hours. Why? Because tech is helping you. It's assisting you. One of the measures, obviously, in, maybe reward systems is definitely the outputs. And again, that creative element that we still need, the soft skills, still are ways in which we can actually say somebody can be rewarded for that. I know a machine can do so much, for a consultant, for example, a proposal. There is no need to do 5 days of creating a proposal. You can do it in 1 day. Just yesterday, I got a document written in French. It was about 20 pages. AI translated that in, less than 5 minutes. I had my document in English. And all I had to do was now read through it, find 1 or 2 mistakes, and that's it. My document is perfect. It's actually like I wrote this document in English myself, and submitting it to get a concept note to the other side so that I can get funding for something. So it's now really about us understanding and accepting that, yes, the machine has helped us, but what is the output? What is the result? What is the solution that is on the table despite the process that you have gone through? So that's where I feel like we need to attach the value. We need to then say, what is the output that Bache is attaching herself to? Because everybody knows we are using these gadgets.
Yes.
Everybody knows that a billboard right now that we used to take long to design graphically is taking, 30 minutes, you're done. You are just fitting in your logo here and everything, but the copy, everything has been done by the machine. And so the value is, has the consumer who you're designing this billboard for understood? Are they understanding? What I love about ChatGPT is it's still garbage in, garbage out. the prompt you put in, if it's not well written and stuff, you can actually get garbage out. So it's understanding what your input is, you as the human, and then once you take out what tech has assisted you with, how are you going to make sure that it's a solution that is relevant to you or to the consumer that you're doing it for? Yeah, so that's my perspective around around value in tech, in the tech space.
Yeah, a lot of social implications. Do we still need a 40-hour work week?
Actually, the 40-hour work week still remains. But what you were supposed to achieve in 6 months, you achieve it in 3 months. That's the objective, right? So we are driving ourselves to move faster and produce results earlier than we would have achieved a certain project. So where we were going to take 6 months, Bache, it's 3 months. Isn't that great? So 40 hours still remains, but instead of achieving one project, you achieve 10 projects in that week.
That's actually, that's a very good way of looking at it. Mm-hmm. Half full glass rather than half empty. We're looking at the half full glass. Fast-paced world, and we are churning out a lot more quicker than we would have. More wellness.
Yes.
More time for wellness as well.
Exactly.
In conclusion, Mellany, I'd like to thank you very much for joining me today on Humor Career Insights. I am grateful for your time and your expertise. Now, if you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice to help them thrive in the future of work, what would that be?
I would say start now in the area of tech that you're interested in. Don't wait. Just start now and see what 3 months does for you, what 5 months does for you, and what the next 5 years will do for you. If I would rewind time, if it was Bitcoin, you buy your Bitcoin.
Yes.
At $100, and one day you find 10 years later or 5 years later, it's at 100,000, 200,000. So it's the same with tech. Just start now. Just get onto that laptop and ping whatever you want to start on. Start listening, start trying, start doing. Start now. You are never too old with tech.
Unfortunately, we cannot rewind time, but indeed we can start now. Listeners, I'm sure you have been inspired as I have been by Mellany from Go My Code, Kenya. And Mellany, just one more thing. If someone is interested to get in touch with you to find out more about your courses, I might have listeners who are very interested. How can they get in touch with you?
Oh, thank you so much, Bashe, for that. Really appreciate. For those who would like to transition to tech, who want to start now, they can visit www.gomycode.com/KE. I'll repeat that, www.gomycode.com/KE. We actually are very flexible in that no matter where one is, they can learn online. And our online comes with an instructor. So you can stop the instructor, you can discuss, they can show you an example. We actually do this so that people are comfortable and they are helped and assisted as they learn. We also have physical space for those who like to network better on ground in Nairobi, Westside Towers. You can reach out on the call and visit our space anytime. Our number is actually +254 20 8730-470.
Thank you for sharing that information, Mellany. I think I'll be one of the first people to get in touch with you for AI. Listeners, thank you for joining us today on Humor Career Insights. I am sure you've been inspired as I have. Until next time, stay inspired.